Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're gonna talk about HRCYED 2.0. If you do not know what HRCYED is, it stands for the hardest reading challenge you ever do. It's by Q. I'm going to link the video where she explained the 3.0. So she's been doing this for 3 years, or this is gonna be the 3rd year. And I'm going to play. I played 2.0 version 2, but I did not win. I will make a video about that when it finished. So it goes, I started on July 1st last year. So when the end of June, I will go ahead and take a look and talk to you guys about it. But right now, I'm getting ready to participate on 3.0. This time around, I will start with Q. So she starts on July 7th, which is her birthday. So I'm gonna start on July 7th. So also gives me like a little buffer week to finish whatever I was reading, because I want to make sure that I do not count any book that I started before July 7th. So I'm gonna work until then to finish everything that I am currently reading, which is a lot, to be honest, but it's okay. So yeah, this year the theme is the word that came to mind, but basically there are different versions that you can participate. There's a normal version, which, if you've never heard of the challenge, here's a real like short explanation. You have the bingo board, right? But what makes it the hardest reading challenge you ever do is actually that each bingo square is a different challenge. So you have to read like many books to fulfill the square. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. So anyways, the first mode you can play is the no nonsense, which is the original version. Okay, second one is the nobody got time for that, which then you will kind of go back to a normal bingo, book bingo, where each square is equal one book. And then you have the gamify version, where you roll a die and you can do it kind of however you want, but basically you get an extra challenge on top of the prompt that you're gonna read. So I'm gonna do a mix of the gamify and the nobody got time for that. So my challenge, I have to read a minimum of 30 books, and I chose it like that because this challenge starts on Q's birthday. I am gonna turn 30 next year. So I'm like, I gotta read 30 books. I think that's gonna be fun. But I also didn't make it too easy on myself. So let me try to explain. Like, to fulfill the square, I need to do either the prompt I already wrote for it, which basically, if you look at the Google Sheet, she explains and give examples of prompts, or some cases like all the prompts you need to do, and I rolled to see which ones I had to do. So yeah, so basically I have to do that specific one, or I have to do the number that she's asking for. That things are going to make more sense as I explain. The normal challenge also allows you to have 2 prompts for 1 book. Mine, I can only do that if I am not finishing the square with both prompts. So what do I mean? Here's an example. The first square is choose your party, okay? So I need to read for cleric, or I need to read 5 other books that will also fulfill the prompt, but not exactly the cleric prompt. Does it make sense? So if I have a book that would fulfill the choose your party, okay, cleric, I could not also use that one for, let's say, the periodic table that I got. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. It makes sense in my head. That's how I'm gonna do it. So let me go ahead and talk about how I'm gonna play, what are the prompts I'm gonna do for each square. So let's go back to the choose your party. This is a D&D theme square. So the character, either the main character or one of the main characters, have to have the profession that kind of works with a D&D class. And which I already said, what I rolled is the cleric. So my main character or one of the main characters need to be something related to cleric. Now, I've never played D&D, but what Q put it there, it's doctors, nurses. That's what I have written down here. Okay. And then, as I'm playing the gamified version, the book has to be queer, or the author has to be queer. So it needs to be queer, how I'm gonna play. And if I cannot find the cleric, I need to read 5 other professions that match the D&D classes, which I'm assuming every profession will match a different. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But yeah, but they do have to be queer. Any book to fit that square need to be queer, even if it's not the cleric one. Okay. Then we have the periodic table, which is what it's saying, the periodic table. For this one, either the author or the main character, one of the main characters, needs to be disabled. Okay. And the prompts that I wrote, it's either silver or uranium. There was 2 lists. I'm like, I'm gonna do one from each list. Okay. On the title, which I think silver will be very easy. I think there's a lot of books with silver. Of course, I just need to make sure that either the author or the main character is disabled. If not, 5 other. Again, still have to have disabled. Okay. Then we have choose your own curriculum. So this one is, with the trend, make your own curriculum, blah, blah, blah. It does not have to be nonfiction. And I'm not going to do nonfiction, especially because I actually wrote gym/sports. So I think this is going to be really easy to fulfill with the amount of sports romance there is. And for this one, it needs to be a self-published book. For self-published books, how I'm doing is if the book was ever self-published, even if now it has been traditionally published now, if at some point it was, it will count for that. Also, I read a lot of fanfics. I'm sorry, fanfic I'm counting as a self-published. I am. I'm sorry. It's how it's going to work. And I will be honest, I had not thought about it when I wrote all of this down, and now I'm like, oh, that's probably how I'm gonna fulfill every self-publish. Or not, I don't know. We'll see. It's just where I live, it's kind of hard to get books. We have one bookstore. So, I don't really know how I would get self-published books that easily. Fanfic, that's how I'm gonna get. Probably, yeah. Okay. So yeah, either a sports, or 5 other school-like courses. I don't know. I'm sorry, my brain just went, I have a headache. Why did they start filming if I have a headache? Because I wanted to. Anyways, wish me luck. Next square. It's familial terms. This one has to be a new author to me, and it has to have a familial term in the title. I got grandfather, which, watching other people's videos, I realized harder than I thought. Everyone's example is mom, dad, lots of daddies, wife, husband, daughter, son. I saw one grandmother, which actually had the book at some point. My grandmother told me to tell you sorry. She's sorry, something like that. The grandfather, haven't found yet. It's okay. I will figure it out. I hope. If not, 5 others. That could be one that I end up reading 5 different. So, yeah. Next square, regional. So this one, we're doing regions of the world. Last year it was continents. This year it's more separate, even it's regional. I got queer and I got Sawana. I think I already know which book I'm going to read for this, but I need to just check because I'm not completely sure if that country is considered Sawana or not. I need to check. Also, because I don't know if the character is from that country, but the book's set somewhere else. And I think for this one, actually I need to check. I don't know if for this one the author needs to be from that place or the story needs to be from that place. Anyways, if not Sawana, I do need 5 others regions in the world. And I don't know exactly how I am going to separate because there are some examples, and that's how I got Sawana. But Latin America counts as one, and I personally am from Latin America, so if I would do Latin America, I would want to do even more regions, which I don't even know how I would separate, but it's so big. I'm sorry, but like, why do we get just one separation? Just, well, technically 2, but like, anyways, so yeah. Next square is road trip. And this one, Q, of course, was talking about US road trip, but she said you guys can choose whatever country. The whole point is not to be the main places, okay? And I'm gonna choose Brazil. I'm gonna do a whole road trip to Brazil. And I was like, I'm gonna show them some examples. And I realized I only have 3 books that are not from Rio and Sao Paulo. And I realized from living abroad, that Sao Paulo may not be the place that people know. People know Rio, that's for sure. But most people actually know Salvador more than they know Sao Paulo. But here in Brazil, Sao Paulo is one of the biggest cities. It's Sao Paulo and Rio. So, yeah. But anyways, most of the books are set in either Sao Paulo or Rio. But I do have 3 books. So I'm going to show you guys the 3 books. And fortunately, it has to be a new to me author. So those don't count. Because I already read them. So it would be a reread for me. But yeah. It's still, I'm going to show you guys. So this one, if you saw my last vlog, you actually know this is A Special Year by Leia Casal. It is set in Porto Alegre, and they travel around Rio Grande do Sul. And this is actually the first in the series. I don't know if it's just a duology. I don't know if there are more from this. I've researched and I can't find. So I think it's just the 2 books. And it's those 2. It's a middle grade book. This is the summer, I think, before 4th grade, and this is their 4th grade. So yeah, it's both set in Porto Alegre. And this is The Adventures of Beto and Faye. And yeah, that's what I said. Sorry, my brain was like, what language they spoke? And then this one, from what I understood, is set in Pará, which is a state in the north of Brazil. Actually, I haven't read this one, but yeah, this one actually could count because I haven't read this author, I don't think. I'll have to research if I haven't read it in school. So I may count this one. So yeah, this one I need to read 5 books, but if I find a book from Rio Grande do Norte, which is a state in the north, which that's why the north. Anyways, this one, I will only need to read that one. I do think I want to read the 5 though, because I do want to read more Brazilian books. Like I said, not that easy to find non-Rio in Sao Paulo though. So yeah, I've already saw like a couple and they need to be, so as far as I'm aware, book needs to be set in those places. So even if the author is not from those places, because many authors are not. But for example, this one is a fantasy. It doesn't count. I don't know where she's from, but I have others that are like this one. He is also from Rio Grande do Sul, which that I'm from Rio Grande do Sul. That's why I have more books from here. But also fantasy doesn't count. So yeah. And this, I do have like, where is it? Another one that it's from a small town in São Paulo. I don't think it counts either because it's still the state of São Paulo. That's where my mind's going. So yeah, it's not as easy as I thought. I was super excited, but it's okay. I do have some examples from the north of Brazil. Not necessarily Rio Grande do Norte. I don't have one for that one yet. But yeah, anyways, next square actually needs 2 books, and I could have done only one, but I decided no, I am going to do the 2 books because it's just 2 books. I can do that. And then that's how I got myself into the 30 books. And I was like, yeah, let's go. It's called Bookception. So this one, I got the Disable. And how does that work? You read a book that mentions books. And then you read one of the books mentioned in the first book. So I thought it was really cool. I need to research this one, but this book mentions lots of other books, so maybe I could use this one. I am not completely sure though, because like I said, Disable, and I think both books need to be either by a disabled author or have a disabled character. I don't know if I will be able. I did get on the Discord a recommendation for the main book, which has a disabled main character. I do not know if any other books mention have disabled main characters or are by disabled authors. So I have to figure out, and that's gonna be a decision by future me if how I'm gonna do that. Anyways, next square is a secret prompt from again, not so secret prompt. It's a name. On HRCYED 2.0, each month we got each month we got a secret prompt, and this time around you have to do the prompts all. Not in my case. I'm only doing one. I got the pun in the title. So if you have any recommendations, do let me know. It does have to be queer and disabled. So it's gonna be fun. I think, did I make the challenge harder? Kind of. But I also think it will be nice to read more like conscious of, okay, I'm reading this book, and not only am I diversifying because I'm looking for lots of different people, authors, and characters in the books, but also I'm conscious. I'm being more conscious about what I'm reading because I'm looking for specific things. So I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be hard, but it's a harder reading challenge for a reason. So let's go. Next square. So this one has 3 books. It's characters to authors. So what does that mean? I read a book. There's a character in the book, main character. So one of the main characters. The name of the character is the name of the author for next book. And again, that doesn't make sense. It does need to be new to me author and self-published. Which this one will be hard for fanfic, because fanfic you use a username, not a name. But maybe it won't be, because you normally use like characters' usernames, so maybe it won't be hard. I don't know. We'll see. Next square is a cover style. So there are different types of covers, right? I got a symbol-based cover style. I don't think it's gonna be hard. It just has to be disabled. If I don't find, I need to read 4 other type of cover style. So I think it's gonna be not 4 others. Yeah, 4 others, but like not extra. I'm sorry, my head hurts. I don't think I'm thinking correctly right now. Anyways, next one is shiritori, which is a Japanese word. I'm so sorry, probably butcher it. And I need 2 books for this one. Normally I need 5, but I'm gonna do only 2. So basically, whatever is the last word on the book I read, the first one, has to be the first word on the second book. Okay? And this need to be queer. I don't think this is gonna be too hard. Hopefully not. You could have done like only letter, but since I'm only doing 2, I decided to make it harder and do word. Anyways, this one's going to be hard, but I'm excited. So this is a HRCYED mashup, and I rolled for this too, and I got the 24-hour readathon and the no US, UK, and Canadian author. So for 24 hours, I'm gonna do a readathon. It has to be disabled character or author, but they cannot be from the US, from Canada, or from the UK, and I think that is going to be hard. Just because when you try to get books recommendation, most people are gonna give you that US, UK, and Canada online. So I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I'll figure it out. It's gonna be fun. Next one, we have 2 with numbers. One's called titular counting, and the other one's numerical title. For both of those, I need new authors. So for titular counting, this one is the number of words in the title. So instead of doing 1 word, 2 words, 3 words, all the way to 10, which is the normal challenge, I'm doing with 6 words or 7 others, which I think I'm just gonna do 6 words. I think I can do it. Numerical title, it have the number on the title, and I got number 19 and number 7. So either or, actually, not and. Or 5 others. So any other 5 numbers. But if I can get 19 or 7, that works. And then we have the rainbow of words. And that is the color on the title. I got yellow. I do already have a couple of recommendations. Of course, we gotta remember that this is disabled. I could also do 5 others. Also, some people are saying on the Discord that it could be like the title be in the color. So, for example, this is a ugly green / brown title color, you know? So maybe I could use like this one because it's a yellow title. I don't know. Well, look, I really want to read this book. Anyways, next one is Animal Family. I got Fish and Disable, or 6 others. This is in the cover, as far as I'm aware. I don't know if it can be in the story. I'll check that out. Next one is Biome, which I got Desert. This is cover. I know that for sure. So I got Desert, new author, or 6 others. Then we have an anthology of authors. So it's supposed to be 7 books, but I'm only doing 2. I'm doing reading an anthology and reading the book from that anthology. That being said, I forgot to write down this one. Has to be a queer and self-published. You know what? This is going to be easy for if I add fanfic. I was so worried this is going to be easy. I can probably do a fanfic for this one. Fanfics. Anyways. Then we have Remix. This is a remix, which means it's a book that is a retelling, some way, shape, or form. And the one that I got is the villain POV, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. I've already saw some recommendations. Mine has to be self-published and non-white author. So this one I don't think I can do fanfic just because I do not know who the person writing is. But I don't think it's going to be too hard. But yeah. Then we have the food pyramid, and I got fruit. So fruits on the cover. And it has to be new author. Next one is the weather on the cover. And I got sunny, which means I do need to have the sun somehow in the cover. And new author again. Sorry, I forgot to say. For the remix, 5 other books, if not the villain. Food, 5 other foods in the cover, if not fruits. And weather, 6 other types of weather, if not sunny. Then we have the It's Your Birthday. And for this one, I got zodiac sign. I'm a Gemini. I have no idea how I'm gonna do this one. Also is a non-white author, and I've saw other people's videos, and people are doing kind of like the animal from their zodiac sign. I don't think we have an animal as Geminis. I think ours is just 2 people, right? So like, can I do a cover with 2 people? Does that count as Gemini? What does it count as Gemini? I should probably go ask in the Discord what count as Gemini, because I have no idea how to do that one. Anyways, next square is the backlist. And this is to read a book from an author backlist. Doesn't matter the author. Actually, it does. It has to be a non-white and new to me author. But other than that, doesn't matter the author. Then we have second chances. Second chances need to be a new to me author, and I rolled for less than 100 reviews. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. I think I can do it. And for the last, I gotta catch them all. No, I must endeavor to acquire all of them. It's a Pokemon type. And the type I got is grass, which I'm not really sure what it means, but I did see a book that has grass on the cover, and I'm like, would that count? I don't know. Also, this one I got disabled. So yeah, and the book I saw would count. But actually, no, because that one I'm using for Bookception. Anyways. So yeah, that's how I'm going to play HRCYED 3.0. I'm going to start on July 7th as Q designed. And I'm really excited. I think it's going to be fun. And I am excited for like do research and actually think about what I'm reading. Because that's exactly what I like the most about HRCYED 2.0. I didn't finish, but you know, I enjoy the amount of new authors as well as thinking, okay, what am I going to read? What can go here, you know? So yeah, I'm really excited. If you watch up to here, thank you so much. I'm sorry I didn't give lots of recommendation. I know many people when making these videos were giving lots of recommendations. I'm asking, please give me recommendations because it's not gonna be easy. But I will be posting a video with my July TBR, and that's gonna be for me to start for HRCYED. So I'm gonna finish my research and, you know, have a couple books for the July TBR that fit in some of those prompts. So yeah, I'm really excited. If you've watched up to here, you should go ahead and let me know if you're playing HRCYED. Have you ever played HRCYED? Have you finished if you did play? And leave a little heart or a good luck sign because I think I'm gonna need, and everyone who's playing should need. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.